Echoes of the Forgotten Mansion. The chilly winds of Raven's Hollow whispered through the skeletal branches of ancient trees, carrying with them the distant echoes of a forgotten mansion. Alex, with a glint of adventure in his eyes, stood before the decaying structure, a silent invitation hanging in the air. Beside him, Emily hesitated, her flashlight casting long shadows on the overgrown path. "Come on, Emily," Alex urged, his voice filled with excitement. "This place is begging to be explored. Imagine the stories we could uncover, the secrets hidden within these walls." Emily bit her lip, uncertainty etched across her face. "Alex, this place gives me the creeps. Maybe we shouldn't." But Alex, ever the enthusiast, interrupted with a persuasive smile. "Don't be such a scaredy cat, babe. This is a chance of a lifetime. Who knows what mysteries we might stumble upon? Besides, it's just an old mansion. What harm could it do?" Reluctantly, Emily nodded, her curiosity outweighing her reservations. Together, they crossed the threshold into the haunted history of Raven's Hollow. The foyer greeted them with an eerie silence, and as they stepped further into the mansion, the weight of its forgotten stories pressed upon their shoulders. The grand staircase beckoned, and Alex led the way, his flashlight cutting through the darkness like a beacon. As they climbed, the air grew colder, and the whispers of the mansion seemed to grow louder. "Alex, did you hear that?" Emily's voice quivered as a distant whisper reached her ears. Alex paused, his grin fading slightly. "Probably just the wind, Em. Nothing to worry about." But the shadows in the hallway seemed to shift, and Emily couldn't shake the feeling of unseen eyes watching them. "I don't know about this, Alex. Something doesn't feel right." Rolling his eyes playfully, Alex continued their ascent. "You worry too much, Emily. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let's not miss out on it." The door at the top of the staircase loomed, and as they pushed it open, a gust of wind extinguished their flashlights, plunging them into an oppressive darkness. Panic clawed at Emily's throat as unseen hands brushed against her skin, guiding her further into the abyss. "Alex, we need to leave." "No." Emily's urgency echoed in the blackness. But Alex, undeterred, attempted to calm her. "It's just a little darkness, Em. We've come this far, we can't turn back now." Yet, in the pitch-black void, a low growl resonated, and grotesque figures materialized, their hollow eyes gleaming malevolently. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence, and Emily's heart leaped into her throat as she watched a twisted, humanoid figure emerge from the darkness. It crawled on all fours, its limbs contorted and elongated, its eyes glowing with an unholy light. Alex, frozen in terror, watched as the grotesque creature crawled towards them with an otherworldly menace. The shadows clung to its misshapen form, and its guttural growls echoed through the darkness like a macabre symphony. Without warning, the creature lunged at Alex, its elongated limbs reaching out with horrifying speed. Emily's desperate scream filled the air as the creature's icy fingers closed around him. Alex fought against the malevolent force, his flashlight flickering in the struggle. "Emily, run!" Alex's voice pleaded, a mixture of fear and determination etched in his eyes. Terrified, Emily turned and fled down the darkened corridor, the haunting echoes of Alex's screams fading behind her. The creature pursued with unnatural agility, its monstrous limbs propelling it forward at breakneck speed. As Emily descended the staircase, each step seemed to elongate, and the shadows danced with a life of their own. The air was cut with bone-chilling screams as the creature closed in, its grotesque form casting nightmarish shadows on the walls, while the creature's bone-chilling screams, and, reaching the bottom of the staircase, the sound of the creature's unnatural limbs scraping against the floor echoing throughout the grand room, Emily burst into the moonlit night, gasping for breath, the grand entrance slamming shut behind her with an ominous finality. She stumbled away from the forsaken mansion, her heart pounding with the echoes of the monster's cries. Breathing heavily, Emily turned to catch her breath and saw the silhouette of the creature standing in the front entrance. In the moonlight it stood there, breathing heavily, unable to leave the mansion prison that the malevolent force resides in. Paralyzed with shock, Emily stared at the creature, noticing a tattoo on its left leg. The realization hit her like a cold wave of horror. "Alex," she whispers, barely audible even to herself. The monster had claimed Alex's flesh as its own and transformed him into its own grotesque form. And the cycle had begun anew. Emily watched as the creature, her former friend, unleashed guttural screams, echoing through the night. The mansion, a prison for the malevolent force, held the creature within its decaying walls, forbidden from leaving. Fueled by terror, Emily fumbled her way out of sight into the dark woodline, tears streaming down her face. Weeks passed in the quaint town of Raven's Hollow, and as the chill of autumn deepened, so did the concern for the mysterious disappearance of Alex. Whispers circulated among the townsfolk, speculating on the fate of the adventurous young man who had dared to explore the forbidden mansion. Emily, haunted by the memories of that fateful night, kept the horrors she witnessed locked away in the depths of her soul. The weight of her silence pressed upon her, but fear of being labeled insane or worse, imprisoned for his murder. Nights were the hardest for Emily, as the echoes of the creature's bone-chilling screams haunted her dreams. She would wake in a cold sweat, the image of Alex's contorted form crawling towards her seared into her mind. The silent suffering became her constant companion, a heavy burden that she bore alone. Months passed, but the memory of that harrowing night remained etched in Emily's mind like a scar. Despite her best efforts to move on, the weight of her silence continued to haunt her. Night after night, she found herself trapped in a repetitive dream, the darkness of Raven's Hollow enveloping her once more. In her dreams, Alex's voice echoed through the shadows, beckoning her to return to the mansion. His words were a haunting melody, luring her back to the place where their nightmare began. Each night, Emily wrestled with the temptation to heed his call, to confront the horrors that lurked within the decaying walls. One evening, as the moon hung low in the Raven's Hollow sky, Emily awoke from her unsettling dream with a strange sense of purpose. The compulsion to return to the mansion, to face the nightmares head-on, gripped her like a vice. Without fully understanding why, Emily found herself packing a bag with trembling hands. The weight of her decision hung heavy in the air, but the haunting whispers of Alex's voice echoed in her mind, drowning out the rational doubts that sought to hold her back. There was one thing she knew for certain, however. The cycle must continue.